What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Jack Black being cast as Claptrap in the Borderlands movie. And this is more, I would say, than just Jack Black. We can talk about the entirety of the Borderlands movie, but obviously, this is the newest thing to come out. Very, very exciting. Personally, now, actually, this was kind of coming off of a week of quite a few people being announced, and we already knew people like Kevin Hart, right? And then we got Jamie Lee Curtis, and then we got Jack Black. And Jack Black, obviously, I think, well, at least for me, I'm a huge Jack Black guy. I've watched his YouTube channel. School of Rock is one of my favorite movies of all time. Jack Black will always be he's just cool. And from his YouTube stuff, by the way, he does seem like a genuine, like an actual person. And by the way, I don't even think the YouTube channel needed to have happened for that to be shown. I do think, out of Hollywood, which we know there's a lot of fake people there. We know a lot of them are kind of miserable or just not good people outside of the workplace, right? Outside of the characters they portray. Seems like Jack Black is like an actual person, you know what I mean? He didn't get there by being some fake person. He got there from being him. I'm sure maybe he made some sacrifices here and there, but, the idea of him being Claptrap is pretty interesting. So I think my reaction is similar to others that I saw on Twitter. It's kind of like, and actually, funny enough, it's what I talked about in the Last of Us TV show. Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, right? It's more like a prove it thing. With Jack Black, it's like, oh, that's like that's like a weird one. You know what I mean? Like it's not something I hate. It's not something when they announce that I'm like, oh, you absolutely got the wrong person. It's something where it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I did not think whatsoever that would be the person, but you know what? I think he can honestly do it really well. I believe he gives his all for whatever role he does, okay? I think, again, that's pretty darn clear. I think that was kind of amplified, specifically in the last two, the Jumanji movies, right? Where I think a lot of people got to see, like, hey, when he's trying to play a teenage girl, he gives it his, like, he plays a teenage girl better than teenage girls play them. You know what I mean? He's the top of the glass here. Now, you don't have to do that to be Claptrap, but for Claptrap, there is a personality there. There's a speed at which you talk, I believe. Now, I'm not saying like I would be good as Claptrap, but I talk pretty fast. I think there are like mechanics there that you do have to you have to adopt. Okay, so like when we talk about like can he make the role his own? Obviously, I want him to make the role his own, but you are portraying a character in a game. Now, I'm not all that caught up on this Borderlands thing. I don't know how much. I don't think it's a retelling, right? It's like an original story. Maybe that's wrong, but you still have to act like Claptrap. With that being said, again, like these characters are definitely going to provide a different spin or some sort of spin to these characters. So again, it's more of a situation where it's like I am really for it because I do like Jack Black, but I'm not gonna go out there and like make a bet. Like I'm not gonna go to Vegas and make bets that it's gonna be like the greatest performance in the movie or that it's 100%. I'm 100% confident that he's gonna be able to pull it off. I wouldn't make that bet, but I'm definitely more optimistic for it than pessimistic. It's not like when they announced that I was like, oh yeah, you got the wrong guy there. I think that it's not the person I would have thought would be Claptrap, but I can 1000% see it as long as he does some things, right? And then for the rest of the cast, I mean, like I said, Jamie Lee Curtis, Kevin Hart, like these are people I do think, they're literally forming the cast of Jumanji, to be quite, I can't wait for Karen Gillan to be announced. I think that's what's going to happen. This movie, I really do think can be something. Eli Roth is kind of all over the place in terms of his films, right? But I think when we have the Uncharted movie, we're having this, I think it's definitely possible to pull these things off. To be honest with you, all eyes, at least my eyes, both of my eyes, which are all of my eyes, are on Uncharted. Okay, that's the movie that, like I've said before, I don't think it was necessary. I don't think you make an Uncharted movie. I don't think you make a Last of Us TV show. I don't think you make a Borderlands movie. I think you leave those franchises alive because you have a really big possibility to just fail. With that being said, we're past that point. They are confirmed. They are cast. Uncharted is filmed and done, right? So, like, at some point, you can keep complaining, and I could keep complaining that I don't want these things in existence because I'm afraid of them messing it up. But we're past that. Now we're at the point where it's like, okay, we will judge it on whether it's good or bad. And if it's bad, we will tear into it. If it's good, we will praise it. We'll give it praise for the good things that it does. And again, like Uncharted is the one that I'm more. It's the closest one. It's to me, Uncharted is my favorite franchise. So that one obviously is just it takes precedent over Borderlands. But Borderlands is a very interesting one as well. I think, especially like what Tales from the Borderlands did for, and I've talked about that before. Tales from the Borderlands really opened up a lot of people, including myself. I was not a Borderlands fan before Tales from the Borderlands, but that opened me up to the world of, the actual world. And from that point, I became a Borderlands fan, and I enjoyed the games. I do think I played the original Borderlands before Tales from the Borderlands, but I wasn't like, super enthralled with it, right? It was kind of just a game. And so I do think the idea of, again, if you because I don't know, if you retell certain things, or even if you don't, if you just tell an original story, I think you can pull it off. I really do think you can. So we'll have to see how it goes. Again, these are castings that I don't think they've made bad choices. Just like even for when we talked about the Last of Us TV show a few days ago on my main channel, I don't think any of these castings for really all this stuff, none of them have been bad. None of them have been like, oh, you absolutely made a mistake there. But some of them have definitely, I would say, been surprises. Some maybe in a good way, right? Or you could kind of twist into a good way. But a lot of it is just proving it. We're gonna need to wait for like the first trailer to see. Okay, well, number one, what does Claptrap look like? And number two, how does he sound, right? How does Jack Black kind of take that personality up? So we'll have to see how that goes. It's gonna be quite a while until we get to that point. But let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think? Do you think this Borderlands movie is a good idea? Do you think Jack Black being Claptrap is a good idea? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, so you guys know when all these videos go up. I do a brand new video every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.